This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brisky,
featuring former FBI Special Agent and Chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program, Robin Dreeke.
The trial of Adam Montgomery continuing on. Lots of just heart-wrenching testimony coming out of many witnesses, including Kayla Montgomery, who for quite a period of time was the significant other of Adam Montgomery, and also the woman who was there when Harmony passed away, was in the car. In fact, Adam Montgomery's defense arguing that it was her that had something to do with the demise of Harmony, not Adam. But lots of lies, lots of confusion, lots of he said, she said going on here. It's a confusing case all around, and two very, very dysfunctional people that were in charge of one very innocent little girl. Here to discuss, Robin Dreeke, retired FBI special agent. Robin, I think we're just going to start right there. Obviously, both of them had a hand in what went on here, and certainly in a hand in concealing this, neither seeming to want to take any sort of responsibility for how it happened. I guess the question is, obviously, neither are credible. Adam's not credible. She's not super credible. So why should we take her testimony as being credible by pointing the finger at Adam, saying that he did this, I guess, versus her having some sort of a hand in it?
As you said, Tony, you said it perfectly. It's really simple. Lots of lies.
Yeah.
We've been looking at this one for quite a while now, and every time we do, I just get goosebumps and sadness just overwhelms me. It is one of the saddest cases. It highlights the extreme challenges we're having as a society as it's getting worse with drug addiction. Mm-hmm. And you're seeing the throes of drug addiction playing out right now with it. Not saying he is addicted, he's, behind bars or whatnot, but still the inability of both of them to own up to and face who they are. I think, his reluctance and to go to court and be in that courtroom is showing he can't face who he is still.
Yeah.
I really think that it's just that simple. And her too, no one is claiming responsibility for the actions. Mm-hmm. And it's just like you said, it's going to be continued pointing of fingers, and it's one of those cases, like all of them, really. We're just kind of to see where the evidence leads, mm-hmm. and hopefully justice will be done. Mm-hmm. Although, what kind of justice could actually be done when that little girl is still dead?
Well, exactly. I mean, watching the testimony of Kayla Montgomery on the stand, it's bizarre because at moments you have these twitches of empathy, these twitches of human emotion out of her, where she's crying. She seems very upset as to what she's talking about, and other times she's talking about Harmony's body as if it were like a bean and cheese burrito from Taco Bell. I mean, just with nothing. Just yep, did this, did that. I mean, what are we dealing with here? Is this just kind of like cognitive dissonance, where to survive and to go forward and not be completely destroyed by what you participated in, you have to kind of create that sort of mental distance from the reality of what you did?
I think so. You have to disassociate from it. And remember, when we're dealing with individuals, and there's so little research on the difference between serial killers and people that have no empathy and psychopathy and drug addicts and their actions. I mean, it's a cornucopia of crazy.
That's one of my favorite words. You're using one of my words, Robin.
It's a cornucopia of crazy.
I use your words, you use my word.
But at the root of this, I still think it's a lot of trauma. So people aren't born drug addicts. Mm-hmm. Generally, again, I'm not a licensed psychologist or therapist or anything like that, but in general, people that start abusing because they're trying to medicate trauma that they can't get over in their lives, whether it's emotional, physical, or something like that. So at the root of this, we're seeing two really, and multiple others that are testifying, traumatized individuals from a part of their lives. Mm-hmm. They medicated through drugs and got addicted, and it got worse and keeps cascading down to a ball of crazy and sadness that we're seeing. And so I think what we're seeing with his ex-wife or estranged wife or whatever we're calling her is glimmers of trauma that are coming out. Mm-hmm. Then it's like you said so well, the coping mechanisms we have to put in place as a biological organism because our acts are so shameful. I talk about shame a lot. Shame is an emotion that destroys us internally. And if they were born with any semblance of normal biological and human functions, which they most likely were, the shame you will feel and are forced to face from acts like this is so overwhelming. You got to do something to survive. It's not conscious that they're doing it. It's just like subconscious for survival mechanisms.
And what's interesting to me, but it's just like it seems that there is an element where they do feel shame here, but
100%.
But why did that shame not prevent them from doing what they did? I mean, that can be a driving force as well to kind of keep some people in line if just, simply doing the right thing is not working for you. Shame could be kind of one of those guide rails on the side going, I don't want that. But they're feeling it to such an extreme because they did such an extreme act. For some people, does it only kick in when you do really, really level 10 shit versus, earlier things where it's like, you got to let her use the bathroom. You got to let her do this. But there's seem to be no shame there, or the way that they were treating the girl all that time. Only when she's dead do they suddenly have some sort of shame.
Yeah. So let's do a thought experiment.
Yeah.
And let's presume that both Adam and his estranged wife fall within the normal parameters of human behavior, like you and me. Let's hope. and for you and I, like you said, we have these guardrails up for the boundaries of things we would do because shame would start kicking in, regret would start kicking in, all these emotions that keep us within those guardrails start kicking in. And for it not to kick in for them really highlights the power and impact of addiction.
Yeah.
It is that overwhelming. And it's addiction. I have experience, with people in my own life, and addiction isn't something you can muscle through. It's not anything that you can have, Joel, they just need to have better discipline. No. It grabs hold of the brain and the pleasure centers in the brain and starts and screws with your biochemistry, something fierce. And then over a prolonged period of time, it gets worse and worse, and it literally destroys the brain. I don't know if you remember, you were kind of same generation-ish, all years ago, this is your brain on drugs, and they show the boiling egg.
Saturday morning cartoons that aired all the time. Yeah.
Literally, that's what's going on. Their brains are toasted. They are. Yeah. And so we're seeing glimmers now and then of the non-toasted part of the brain coming out. And then it goes back to the cognitive dissonance, trying to distance themselves from the event that they had because of shame. I mean, both these individuals require a massive amount of counseling and rehab, I think, before they can even coherently put a sentence together.
Yeah, I mean, it's so disturbing. And would that be why would you say this is why he refuses to go to the courtroom every day? His reason that we've heard was he doesn't want to do the anal cavity search, which maybe there's drugs there. I mean, maybe this is why he doesn't want to do that. But I think it goes deeper than that. I think it's the guardrails are there. He knows where they are. And it's kind of, is it like the rock bottom thing where it's like he doesn't want to feel just how dark he got, just to the depths that he got. So just going to refuse.
So I'm going to be an armchair therapist here.
Yeah.
If he was at his rock bottom and ready to move forward in his life, he'd be in that courtroom.
Yeah.
Owning it.
And he is not there right now.
No, because I mean, if you look at it, if your brain is functioning properly and all this evidence is mounted against you, you have a defense attorney probably, hypothesizing here about advising him on what he should or shouldn't do. And I'm guessing he's not doing what he's being advised to do in this one. You're going to jail. And the best thing he could actually do, since if he could actually cognate and not be lying to himself. See, one thing that addicts do is they lie to everyone, including themselves, really extensively. And if he would get over that and just realize, I'm going to jail, the best thing I can do is start a new chapter in my life, own everything I've done, and move forward.
Yeah.
And He's not doing it, which says to me, there's no remorse going on here. It's just still crazy. He's still got crazy brain going.
Sick of the ads?
We are too.
Start listening with no commercials now and get access to all of our episodes in advance of everyone else.
Become a True Crime Today Premium Plus subscriber on Apple Podcasts.
Search True Crime Today Premium Plus on Apple Podcasts or go to our podcast page and sign up now.
True Crime Today Premium Plus.
Sign up now.